Hey everyone, welcome to the Canine Culture Podcast, where we talk about everything dog. Q&As with veterinarian professionals, rescue operators, everyday topics. We cover everything dog on this podcast. So make sure you subscribe to the Canine Culture Podcast on your favorite podcast platform, and make sure you're following us on social media on both Instagram and Facebook. Thanks again for listening. Now here's that next episode. Hey everyone, welcome to the Canine Culture Podcast. This is your host, Brittany, and today we have a special guest. Her name is Amy, and she is from Forever Home Beagle Rescue. So welcome to the show, Amy. How are you?
Hi, thanks. I'm good. How are you?
Good. So tell everyone a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Sure. So Forever Home Beagle Rescue, we're in Pittsburgh, PA. And of course, I have a normal day job, but rescue, it's kind of like the other full-time job that we have. So my best friend and I, we run this rescue in Pittsburgh. And yeah, it's a big part of our everyday.
Yeah, it seems that everyone involved in rescue work also has another full-time job, because I've said this before and I'll say it 100 more times. Rescue work doesn't pay. So if you are doing any kind of rescue work, you're essentially working more than one full-time job.
Exactly.
Yeah. So tell us exactly what the rescue does, how you guys kind of operate, and also like how it got started.
Sure. Well, so I started rescuing back probably around 2010, 2011 in my hometown of Huntington, West Virginia.
Oh, that's where I'm
And
from.
no way.
Yeah, that's where I'm from. That's crazy.
That is very crazy. Um, so I started working in rescue, or started doing rescue back then. And about a year or so later, I met Julie, who is the founder. Her and her husband founded our rescue in 2007. So I met her while we were looking for beagle rescues to take some of our hounds. And we just kind of clicked, just we started working together, and I started sending her way too many beagles. And we became really good friends. And then some things happened, and I ended up moving up here to Pittsburgh. So now we are just, now we're both here doing this all the time. So we do take dogs. Most of our beagles come from rural shelters in West Virginia, Kentucky, and Ohio. Those are some of the biggest states. And we take a few from other states sometimes too, especially the southern states. Yeah, Pittsburgh loves their beagles. Sometimes we help out hounds when we can, and we also will help any other dogs that we can help. But we've always been a beagle rescue because when Julie started the rescue, I guess it's kind of the culture that you were more respected if you were a breed rescue. So, and beagles, that was the first type of dog that she got. So her dog is the one who kind of started our rescue.
Yeah, so I've actually seen a little bit of a resurgence of beagle rescues. And I think so where you're located, it seems like a lot of those beagles, maybe they weren't good at their job. They were meant to be working dogs or hunting dogs, and either they weren't good at it, or they kind of ran their course and people dump them or get rid of them or get a younger one. And then it seems like the flip side of beagle rescue, I think what we're seeing a lot right now is from testing facilities, like different makeup companies and just different companies that have been testing on these animals, and kind of that bigger push to get away from that animal testing. So do you guys ever get any of the beagles that have been exposed to the animal testing?
I don't think that we ever have, actually. A lot of times when they're doing, like with the Envigo beagles that they just, it was in the news and it was a really big deal. Most of those went to larger humane societies, not as many small rescues. So I
Okay.
think it was just easier for them to, okay, this shelter can take 10 beagles, and because they had so many beagles. And we've taken one from Korea.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah, we've never taken any, to my knowledge, that were from the testing facilities. But yes, like you said, most of our beagles come from the rural areas where they are used and as hunting beagles, and are just bred, like, so much. And
Mm-hmm.
there's just so many. And if they don't hunt, yeah, they often will get dumped in another area, and then turn up as a stray, or at the shelter. So, and that's one thing. Our beagles, they are all house beagles. They are couch potatoes. And if they want to hunt some rabbits, that's cool. But no, all of our beagles are just to be loved family members.
Right. So tell us a little bit, what does your day to day look like having different animals in the rescue? And how many dogs do you guys have right now?
In the rescue, I'm trying to think. Um, so we are a smaller rescue, and but our numbers kind of ebb and flow with just sometimes depending on what's going on, and what's going on in our lives, what's going on with you know whether or not it's the holidays or it's summer, stuff like that. But so we do have currently a couple of puppies that we actually got from a flea market, being sold at a
Mm-hmm.
flea market. And we
I have
have,
seen those.
yeah, yeah, they were so small, but they're doing great. And we do have at least a handful of other dogs that are currently available. We also have what we call forever fosters. Those are typically older beagles, or those with maybe a medical condition that might make it difficult to adopt out. So we do have several of those. And so the good thing is we just need a foster, and we take care of their bills forever. So we just have to find somebody who will love them until, the end of their lives. So that's currently what we have. But day to day, it's it's a lot of emailing. We are either emailing with adopters, fosters, or shelters, or we do also get owner surrenders. So it's a lot of emailing, and then we don't have a facility. We are foster based completely. So we are always dying for fosters, but we do talk with our fosters a lot. And outside of that, we're arranging transports, or vet visits, or doing some administrative stuff. So it's a little bit of the fun part of getting to play with the dogs, but then we have all of the other administrative stuff that has to happen on the other end. So it's you're always doing something every
Right.
day.
Always, always
Oh
something new. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and I've definitely seen lately with all of the rescues I've been interviewing, the foster based model seems to be, for the most part, even some of the rescues that have been around longer, like you guys have been around for quite some time, and that seems to be the trend is foster based, which makes sense. I mean, having a facility, you've got you've got to worry about having people staffing it. You've got to worry about, of course, paying for the cost of the facility. So that definitely makes sense. And if someone wants to foster for you guys, can they apply on your website to be a foster?
oh yes, of course. We have our applications on our website. It's rescueabeagle.org. um, but
That's a
yeah,
cute that's a cute name. I like that.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, so yeah, fosters. It. I mean, sometimes we wish we had the space that shelters do, but
Hmm.
being small, being foster based, we have a really good hands on. We can be really hands on. We take dogs that other shelters and rescues might not, especially behavioral. Just because a dog has bitten doesn't mean we won't take them. Julie is really good at behavioral and training. So she kind of gets to do that. She gets that job whenever we get a dog like that.
And then, so let's talk a little bit about the adoption process, because if you guys have puppies, I feel like those are the first to go. So, what does that adoption process look like? Can they start the adoption paperwork on your website?
Yeah, they can. Our adoption process, we do have a pretty lengthy application. We are really quite picky with our homes. We pride ourselves on only finding the best homes for our dogs, and we kind of have a family, that once you have adopted from us, everyone's kind of connected on social media now. So I'll see a dog on there that we adopted 10 years ago, and it's just a really good feeling. But yeah, so they can start the adoption process on our website. We will usually, we'll talk with them, make sure that they sound like a good fit. If there's any, if the dog has any specific issues, we will of course talk with them about that to make sure that's okay, and that it will be a good fit. And we also require a home visit. So we like to know where our dogs are going to be living.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're pretty hands-on.
Yeah. And I mean, it makes sense. You've got to be picky at that point and make sure you get the right owner, someone who's not going to just tie up the dog in the backyard and just leave him on a chain. So it makes perfect sense.
Exactly.
So in addition to, I mean, you guys probably always need fosters. You of course need people to adopt. Do you guys have any other needs right now?
But yeah, besides fosters, like you said, our biggest need will always be money.
Yeah.
We have some pretty expensive dogs in our care, and we also like to be able to step up for those dogs who who need it. So that means that we need donations. So yeah, money is always our other biggest need.
And can people donate on the website as well?
Yeah, they can. There is a donate button that lets you just donate right through the website.
Awesome. Do you guys have any upcoming events or fundraisers? And I saw you guys have done some different stuff in the past. I don't know if you have anything planned for the rest of 2022 or 2023, but anything coming up?
Well, right now we have a couple of volunteers who have been helping try to organize a Santa photos. We're trying to organize a fundraiser. We need a Santa Claus, and so that you can bring your dog to have their photo taken with Santa Claus. So we're working on that right now. And every year, usually March, we participate in the Pittsburgh Police's annual Biscuits Bingo. So it's a really big fundraiser. That's where we usually make the most money, and it's several rescues and shelters that come together, and it's a good time. It's a long day, but it's definitely worth it. So those are our biggest fundraisers that are upcoming right now.
Okay. And then where can people find you guys on social media?
Well, so of course we're on Facebook. You can just type in Forever Home Beagle Rescue, and then we also have an Instagram. It's at Forever Home Beagles.
All right, Amy. Well, thank you so much for teaching us a little bit about the rescue. And for all the listeners, make sure you check them out on social media, give them a follow, and donate if you can. Thank you for tuning in to the Canine Culture Podcast. Please make sure you subscribe to the Canine Culture Podcast on your favorite podcast platform, and make sure you're following us on social media. If you have any recommendations, any topics that you'd like to hear, if you know of any guests that would be good for the show, or if you yourself want to be a guest, please reach out to us. Send us an email at canineculturepodcast@gmail.com, or send us a direct message on social media. Thank you for listening, and please share this with any of your dog-loving friends.